Alright guys, day 32, part 2. So in this video I want to talk about uh, consistency in the long run, and this has less to do with you know uh, productivity and working and getting shit done, but it has more to do with your health, for example, right? Online you can research a lot about all these different diets, intermittent fasting, the carnivore diet, the what's the other thing called, the keto diet, and so on and so forth, and all of these things. And although some of them may have some valid scientific backing, not all of these things are going to work for you. And so, that's what I've come to learn. Some of the things that I've been doing, like intermittent fasting, uh, and maintaining a state of ketosis for the duration that I do on most days, is something that I actually need to cut down on because of a medical condition that I have. I'm not going to talk about it, but even though fasting is great and it has a lot of benefits, and there's documented scientific literature, after checking with the doctor, I found out that almost that the the pros don't outweigh the cons in my specific case, and that's something that you need to keep in mind. When you're going online, all the information that's presented to you is generic information. Yes, it might be valid, it might be true, it might be scientifically backed, but again, it's not specific to you. That's why doctors exist. That's why health professionals exist. They can tailor the information to your needs, to your circumstances, to your body, and tell you what it is and tell you what's actually beneficial for you and what's not. Because what might work for one person may not work for another person, and it may have nothing to do with their discipline, their consistency, or anything like that, but rather like just their bodies in general, or their genetic makeup, or whatever it may be. And so it's really important that before, even though I present on, I was like a health based information on this channel, I always leave a disclaimer at the end telling you guys to check with a health professional, a licensed health professional, or a doctor before you make any significant changes to your diet or your exercise regimen or your lifestyle in general. It's important to make sure that you have the appropriate information, and by appropriate I mean information specific to you, before you embark on any kind of endeavor or pursuit. And so whenever you hear about all these things online, they might be true, they might be valid. Just make sure that you check with a doctor or someone who can give you information that's specific to your body and your circumstances, and then go based off of what they say, because obviously they're going to know more than what the internet has to offer. So yeah. Then and the reason why I said this video is going to be about consistency in the long run is because, again, even though many of these methods that are discussed online might be good for people in general, and staying consistent with them in the long run is something that's certainly beneficial to the right group of people. If unfortunately your body, the genetic composition of your body, maybe any medical conditions that you have, or your circumstances, your environment in general, maybe if those things don't align with whatever protocol you're planning on following, whether it's fasting, whether it's keto, whether it's the carnivore diet, or whether it's veganism, or the Mediterranean diet, like whatever it may be, right? Just make sure that before you stick with something, you check with someone who can give you specific information, ideally a licensed health professional if you can afford it, because if you stay consistent in the long run with something that doesn't work for you, you'll end up harming yourself. And so it's important to figure out what's actually good for you from the very beginning before you start dedicating a lot of time, effort, and discipline in order to maintaining something. So that's what I meant by this video is going to be about consistency in the long run. And I can also relate it to working towards your goals and whatnot. At the end of the day, like I've always said, there's certain things that you shouldn't compromise on while in the pursuit of your goals. One of those things is definitely your health, and so do make sure that you take care of your health regardless. Like if it comes down to the choice between spending 3 hours a day taking care of your health, whether that's exercising, eating well, going on long walks, which are good for you, of course, stretching, practicing meditation, doing yoga, and just getting physical activity in throughout the day, versus getting an additional 3 hours of work, time to do homework and whatnot. under most circumstances, choose the first option. Choose to take care of your health, because in the long run, that's what'll pay off. People always talk about, pursuing your goals and, being relentless with your work ethic, and you definitely should be, but not at the cost of your health. Lots of people, even if they become extremely, extremely successful, financially at least, in the future, they all wish that they had a longer runway. And by runway, I mean lifespan. That's what the analogy is. So instead of being in a rush to become, super successful and make a bunch of money and, do this and that, slow down a bit just so that you can take care of your health and give yourself a longer runway, because that's what you'll value more later on in the future. The older you get, the more you value your health. And so making sure that you take care of it from now onwards, because I know most of you guys who watch my content are relatively young, under the age of 40. And so please make sure to take care of your health and set yourself up and create a good foundation for yourself for the rest of your life so that you can live a long lasting one. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much money you have, you can never buy back the time you lost, or, after a certain point, you can't buy back your health either. You could start eating clean at 50 years old. You could start, you could get some kind of special surgery. You could get some kind of experimental treatment or whatever. There's no guarantee that it'll work. And in most cases, it probably won't, because the damage has been done by then and it's too late to revert back to your original self. And so do make sure to take care of your health from starting from now as early as possible. So yeah, anyways, that's all I've got for this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.